This video is sponsored by Incogni. We'll discuss them more in detail later in the video. This first one is a big recent change for me, and I've personally been really surprised at how quickly and well I adjusted. And that is physical books. That's right, it's been over a year since I purchased a physical book, and I'm surprised how much I don't miss it. Now, this is not because of any intentional change in my behavior. In my old house, I had tons of physical books I loved reading from. I actually had several bookshelves overflowing with books, and I took great pride in them. For the past year, my family and I have been traveling the world as digital nomads, and because of that, one of the big changes I had to make was satisfy all my reading needs via my Kindle alone. And I'll be honest, at first I was a bit concerned. As someone who loves the feel of a physical book, the smell of the pages, the ritual of underlining my favorite passages, I thought I missed that hands-on experience. But you know what? I adapted way faster than I expected. There are so many benefits I didn't anticipate. I can carry an entire library in my backpack. I never lose my place when I'm traveling. And because all the highlights and notes sync across my devices, my computer, my phone, my Kindle, I can easily transition from one device to another, as well as quickly find a passage that I found inspiring. And here's the kicker. I'm actually reading a lot more than ever because it's so convenient. Need to finish that chapter while waiting in line? No problem. Once read in my bed without waking up my wife, Kindle's backlit has me covered. And from a financial perspective, ebooks are often 30 to 50% cheaper than physical books, and many classics are completely free. Thus, I've been able to save hundreds of dollars while still maintaining my reading habit. Now, do I occasionally miss browsing a bookstore? Of course. But for someone who's constantly on the move, going digital was a necessary choice, and so far, one I've been enjoying quite a bit. Alright, the next one that I don't buy anymore. And this one, I've actually been practicing for much longer. And that is drinks with my meals. That's right, call me boring. But I almost always just get water whenever I'm eating, both at home and eating out. My wife and the kids love to get their own drinks, but for me, simple water has always satisfied me. But it wasn't always this way. I used to be the guy who always get orange juice with breakfast, an Arnold Palmer with lunch, and some form of soda with dinner. I thought it was what adults did, what sophisticated professionals did. You see it in movies all the time. At least I did when I was growing up. Serious-looking individuals having a nice glass of fancy drinks while having some serious conversation. Or maybe it was just all impressionable to me because my family couldn't afford fancy drinks or even eating out much growing up. Regardless, I just thought that I needed to order a drink whenever I ate out. That was until I realized a few things. One, how unhealthy all these drinks were. I realized I was consuming hundreds of unnecessary calories every time we went out. Additionally, my energy would spike and crash from all the sugar. I would leave restaurants feeling bloated and sluggish instead of being satisfied. And two, the price. A glass of orange juice at a brunch? $4.50. That fancy lemonade at lunch? $3.95. Just a regular Coke with dinner? $2.75. You do this with every meal and they quickly add up. Yes, call me boring, call me bland. But now, I just love a simple cup of water with my meal, both at home as well as when we're eating out. Water is free, it pairs with everything, and is exactly what your body needs. Everything else is just expensive marketing. Now, just because this video is dedicated to things I don't buy anymore, that doesn't mean I don't spend money on anything. There are things I consider well worth our money, and that is services that help protect our sensitive personal information. A while back, I entered my email address and phone number on what I thought was a trusted site. And within days, I started getting bombarded with spam emails, random texts, and non-stop calls from numbers I didn't recognize. It quickly became clear that my data had been leaked. And that's exactly why protecting your personal data is so important. Which is why I'm excited to talk to you about today's video sponsor, Incogni. Incogni is a service that automatically contacts data brokers and people search sites on your behalf to request a removal of your personal data. Now, why is this important? It's because as we speak, your sensitive personal information like your home address, birth date, and even your health data is being collected, bought, and sold online. This is one of the major reasons why all of us receive so many spam calls on our phone, junk mails in our inbox, and unsolicited targeted ads whenever we go online. They're annoying, exhausting, and frustrating. And while we could manually request each data broker to remove our information, the process would take hundreds of hours with constant follow-ups. That's where Incogni comes in, and here's how they protect your privacy in 3 straightforward steps. 1. You create an account and specify whose personal data you want removed. 2. You grant Incogni the right to work on your behalf. Then 3. You simply watch them handle everything. They contact data brokers, process removal requests, and handle any objections. And what I appreciate most is how Incogni continuously monitors these sites and automatically conducts repeated removals if your information reappears. This eliminates the ongoing hassle of manually managing your personal information. I mean, just think how nearly impossible it is to stop junk mail on your own. And the best part of using Incogni? You have less unwanted spam calls. You have less unwanted spam emails. And you have less of your sensitive personal information floating online for people to exploit. With Incogni, you are in charge of your data. So don't wait. Use my special code TAKEHIM at the link below to get an exclusive 60% off at an annual Incogni plan. That's incogni.com/takehim. And with their 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose except the constant worry about your online privacy. Alright, with that, let's get back to the video. The next item that I haven't bought in over a decade, and I definitely don't miss, is this. And that is alcohol. That is right, the most popular social drink in the world. This was another thing I was really socialized into when I was young. In my 20s and even a bit into my 30s, drinking was just what you did. Happy hour after work, round of beers during get-together, and ordering wine with dinner. I mean, this is what people just do, right? We drink in order to socialize, and we socialize in order to drink. You see it everywhere, both in media as well as in real life. Well, for me, I realized I don't really enjoy alcohol that much, so I made a bold decision to completely cut it out. That's right, I went cold turkey, no alcohol. Now, this is easy for me to say right now, but at the time, it was a huge decision. I felt like I was breaking some major social protocol. I was choosing to live my life in isolation as a hermit. I would be a social outcast. Of course, none of that actually happened. Actually, a lot of great, amazing things came from cutting out alcohol from my life. For one, your health. We all know alcohol is not good for your body, but until you completely cut it out, you don't realize just how much it was affecting you. If you're having trouble sleeping, trust me, you'll sleep much better without it. Additionally, no more unnecessary hangovers and headaches. They are a complete waste if you ask me. 2. Money. If you're spending just $20 to $30 per week on drink, that is already $1,200 to $1,800 per year. But the truth is that most people spend way more than that when you factor in dinner drinks, social events, and bottle of wine that seem like a good idea on a Tuesday evening. And 3, I can almost guarantee you your social life will improve. Real friends don't care if you drink or not. And if you have friends that only socialize with you with alcohol, I would personally question that relationship. Alright, for the next one, let's change gear a bit. Let's talk about expenses related to travel. And this one I feel pretty confident about, given I'm technically a full-time traveler now. And that is travel packages. You know all those inclusive deals you see advertised everywhere? Flights, hotels, meals, maybe some activities all bundled together for one supposedly convenient price? I actually used to use them regularly many years ago when I wasn't very experienced with traveling. The idea of booking my own flight and hotel felt so intimidating. What if I make a mistake? How would I know if the hotel is in a good location? How would I navigate getting around in a new city? I mean, these travel packages are put together by professionals, so they must know what they're doing, right? So when my wife and I got married close to 15 years ago, and we were debating our honeymoon location, we decided to purchase a Costco vacation package. And it was generally a good package. It included the flight, the hotel, and even extracurricular activities. We thought, what a great deal, all at one affordable price. Because that is what the brochure said. Well, we've learned a lot about traveling since, so we don't buy these packages anymore. Actually, we stay quite far from them. For one, we realized that they're actually quite expensive. These travel packages are designed to maximize the company's bottom line. Thus, when you do the actual math, the markup on these packages is quite a bit. Often, if you were to book the flights, accommodations, and activities separately, you can save up to 30 to 50%. 2, you give up control. Yes, you don't have to research the specific hotel or tour, but you don't have much flexibility. The hotel is too far from the beach? Too bad, you're already locked in. Found an amazing local festival happening across town? Sorry, you got a pre-planned dinner reservation that's already paid for. Now that I've become a full-time traveler, I've been somewhat savvy at finding the right accommodations and flights that best meets my family's needs. Not only does it allow me to save money, but it gives us so much flexibility to control our schedule to how we see fit. Alright, sticking with travel theme, what is another thing I absolutely do not spend money on? That is right, souvenirs and travel trinkets. Many years ago, I seriously thought that I had to buy a souvenir whenever I visit a new location. I mean, that is just what you did, right? Where did I get such an idea? Probably from all the movies I watched. Family members coming back from vacations with cool snow globes, memorabilia mugs, and branded t-shirts. But today, I am vigilant about not buying any souvenirs. Why? Because the brutal truth is that most souvenirs are cheaply made and overpriced. That authentic wood carving you pay $30 for, probably mass-produced in a factory thousands of miles away. The local jewelry that seems like a steal, marked up 200% because it's near a tourist attraction. The math is depressing. If you're spending just $20 to $30 in souvenirs per trip and you travel even a few times a year, That's hundreds of dollars for clutter that you eventually donate or throw away. Alright, but you're probably thinking at this point, that is great for yourself. But how about your kids? Do you torture your children with the same ridiculous approach to souvenirs? Yes, of course. Torturing your kids is part of good parenting. I mean, we all know that, right? But in all seriousness, when it comes to my kids, I do try to find a happy medium. Recently, my family and I were at Universal Studios Japan, and my daughter, being a big Harry Potter fan, really wanted a magic wand. And while I did want to get it for her, given our limited luggage space, and also the fact that I'm a grumpy Scrooge when it comes to spending money, I was really torn. Is it really worth the $50 price tag? I mean, what do we do with it after we leave the park? I mean, it doesn't really cast a magic spell, does it? Well, I'm proud to say we found a happy medium. After some search, we found these miniature magic wands, and the best part, they have some practical value because they're actually pens that look like wands. Yes, I know, many of you are probably judging me. What a cheap Scrooge. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience for your daughter and you had to cut corners? You couldn't just buy her the wand? And I have to say, true on all accounts. Yes, I am cheap. Yes, I'm a bit of a jerk. And yes, I love to torture my kids. Hey, what do you expect? I make personal finance investing videos for a living. Now, before we continue, I got something special I'm excited to share with you. Have you ever considered what your unique financial strength might be? Your money superpower? Perhaps you're naturally disciplined with spending money. Or maybe you have a special skill when it comes to investing. Some of you might even have the valuable gift of patience that lets wealth compound over time. So I put together what I call the Money Superpower Quiz, a quick assessment that will help you identify your personal financial edge. After completing it, you'll not only discover which money superpower you possess, but you'll also get a personalized strategy designed specifically to amplify that strength as you build wealth. And the best part? It's completely free. Just a small token of appreciation for tuning into my very dry and boring videos every week. The link is waiting for you in the description below, so discover your money superpower today and learn how to best leverage it. Alright, with that, let's get back to the video. What is another item I stopped buying? Custom-made clothes. Now, it might be hard to believe looking at me because today I wear the same plain shirt every day, but at one point in my life, I used to spend money on custom-made clothes. That's right, custom-made suits molded to my body. Dress shirts with my initials monogrammed on them. Once I even had a custom belt made from alligator skin. I know, who is that guy, right? Well, he is long in the past. Again, at the time, because of having watched too many movies of supposedly successful people getting custom clothes made, I thought that was what I was supposed to do if I wanted to become successful as well. Only little did I know that paying thousands of dollars for custom clothing was actually the opposite of successful financial behavior. I was actually going the opposite direction every time I paid $2,000 for a custom-made suit and $200 for a monogrammed dress shirt. I was getting further and further away from my goal of financial independence. The wake-up call came when I looked at my closet and realized I had thousands of dollars of clothes that were doing nothing for me. Those custom suits were too formal for most occasions, the monogram shirts felt pretentious wearing them around people, and that alligator belt, let's just say I eventually felt ridiculous about the whole thing. I eventually ended up donating most of them to Goodwill. Hopefully someone else would find better use for them. Today, as you can tell, I've completely gone the other direction and have never looked back. Same plain boring shirts every single day, and I have never felt freer. Moving on, this next one felt like a great idea at the time, but after a while I realized it wasn't really practical. And that is subscription boxes. At one point in my life, the theme of becoming more financially smart, as well as being more optimized with my time, I was subscribed to a whole bunch of different subscription boxes. I had one that sent me monthly grooming products, razors, shaving cream, skincare items. Supposedly each portion was measured perfectly for my monthly needs. On top of that, I had a coffee subscription that promised to deliver premium beans I never found in stores, and another one that delivered supplements that contained all my nutritional needs. I thought, hey, I need all these things, and they say they're going to send me exactly what I'll need each month. Plus, I get a great discount for being a subscription member. I'll not only be optimal with my time, but with my finances as well. But after a few months, the problems became obvious. First, the perfectly measured portions were never quite right. The grooming boxes sent me way too much shaving cream, but not enough face wash. Meanwhile, the coffee subscription assumed I was drinking 5 cups of coffee a day when I was barely drinking 1. Second, the cost was sneaky. That $15 a month grooming box seemed reasonable until I realized I was spending $180 a year on products I would normally spend about $50 at the store. But for me, the worst was the waste. I would get products I actually didn't like or need, but felt guilty throwing them away because I paid for them. My bathroom cabinet was overflowing with face masks and moisturizers I never used, and the kitchen drawers became a graveyard of exotic supplements. So now, I just buy what I need when I need it. Yes, I'm not getting the bulk discount, but I'm also not needing to deal with managing all the complexity and waste that comes with continually managing different subscription boxes. Alright, the final thing that I don't buy anymore but do not miss at all. And before we get there, I want to warn you, because this one is quite controversial. And that is gifts. That's right, I don't do gifts anymore. I can't recall exactly when I made this transition, but if there's a situation that requires a gift, a wedding, birthday party, or any other occasion, instead of a physical gift, I turn to this: cold hard dollars. Actually, hold on. I'm filming this video from South Korea, so it's actually be cold hard won. If you invite me to your wedding, don't expect me to come with a blender or a toaster. Rather, expect an envelope filled with cash. And before you think I'm just being cheap, lazy, or just straight out jerk, hear me out. This is actually the most thoughtful approach I've found. Here's the thing about traditional gifts. You're guessing most of the time. You're trying to decipher exactly what the other party might find useful or valuable. And most often, we get it wrong. But cash is exactly what everyone actually wants. It helps pay for the honeymoon, the down payment on a house, the hospital bills for having a baby. It's practical, it's useful, and there's zero waste. Plus, no wrapping paper, no shipping costs, no standing in return lines. The amount of time and money I've saved by eliminating gift shopping is huge. No more last-minute trips to department stores, no more pay for shipping, no more wondering if they like it or not. And let's be honest, who doesn't love cash, right? Thank you guys for watching. In the theme of not spending our money on things, if you want to learn about some things truly wealthy individuals do not waste their money on, please check out my video here. Until next time, all the best.